I'd like to call the Monday, May 14th, 2018 Blue Springs Planning Commission meeting to order. And if I could ask you to please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome all of you this evening and those watching, as well as the commissioners. Thank you for attending and being here. Our agenda for this evening is the consent agenda as item 1. Number 2, we do have a public hearing for de-annexation of 1750 East Pink Hill Road. We have number 3, the master alternative sign plan for sports and luxury auto. 4, we will have election of officers. 5, we'll have other business, followed by adjournment. So with that, I would entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Peel?
I move that the minutes from the April 23rd Planning Commission meeting be approved as submitted by staff.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Fairbanks? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Okay, the motion carried for the consent agenda. Now we're going to go into a public hearing. And let me read the instructions for a public hearing. I'll open the public hearing. I'll call for exhibits from our city attorney. The staff will make their presentation, followed by any questions of the commissioners. The applicant can make their presentation. We'll call witnesses either in favor and then opposed. Also, we'll follow with general questions and discussion by the commissioners, and we'll close the public hearing. So with that, I will open the public hearing for the de-annexation of 1750 East Pink Hill Road. And I call for the exhibits from the city attorney.
Madam Chairman, before I offer the exhibits into the record, I wanted to make a few comments about this de-annexation request. This property, and it'll probably be in the staff's presentation also, but the property was annexed into the city, not by a petition of the owners, but by what I'm going to refer to as an involuntary annexation in the 70s, in 73, 74 is when it was finalized. And it was done under Missouri Statute 71.015. Now, I've handed you copies of current 71.015, but at that time it was much different than the way it is now. But one of the requirements that the city had to make, and they had to go to court and get a court order for this, was the city had to, and this is it's 2C on the first page. The city has to prove that it has developed a plan of intent to provide services to the area proposed for annexation. It appears from the court record that I looked at on Friday that the city did present a plan of intent. However, the city has never provided sewer service to this annexed property. So the city did not comply with the court's order. The court's order says in the very last paragraph that plaintiff City of Blue Springs is able to furnish its normal municipal services to said unincorporated area within a reasonable time after said annexation is to become effective. And that order was signed May 6, 1974. And the reason I'm pointing this out is because in the current version of 71.015, there is a 5-year statute of limitations, and the 5 years begins running when the city passes its ordinance to annex the property in. I'm going to recommend that you allow the city to make its presentation and for the applicants to make their presentation. And because of the particular facts and unique circumstances of this property and this application, that you go ahead and hear it today.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
So I offer the following exhibits into the record. Exhibit 1, staff report with attachments. 2, affidavit of publication in the Examiner on April 28, 2018. 3, application with attachments. 4, 185-foot notification map. 5, names and addresses of property owners within 185 feet of the site. 6, copy of letter sent to said property owners. 7, Title IV Land Use Section, Blue Springs Code of Ordinances by reference, and 8, 2014 Comprehensive Plan by reference.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mallon?
Thank you. Mike Mallon, Assistant Director of Community Development on behalf of the city. The case before you is DEAX 04186359. It is a de-annexation request of approximately 1 acre for property to be de-annexed outside the corporate limits of the city of Blue Springs. Give you a quick site location map here. The property is located south of Northeast Pink Hill Road and east of Northeast Jellison Road. The property is shown here, highlighted by the black and white line. Property is zoned currently residential estate within the city limits. Again, it's approximately 1 acre. The applicants, the Dunnings, own both the property to the north that contains a single-family detached house, as well as the subject property. The property to the north is in unincorporated Jackson County. The property that is highlighted is within the city limits. So the property owners own both parcels, one in the city and one out of the city. The request for de-annexation, I believe Jackie gave a good history of it, but the property, let me get that on the record from our presentation perspective. Property was annexed into the city, approved by the city council to be annexed or proceed through the annexation process in July of 1973, and proceeded through the annexation election and court-ordered court declaration process, which was approved and officially annexed the property in May of 1974. Property that is subject for the de-annexation request has not been developed with any building or structures to date. The property is served by the City of Independence Water. Oh, I'm sorry, the City of Independence Water and a septic system for sewer. The current city limits on this map is highlighted by the bold black line. As you can see, it kind of zigzags around some of the properties south of Pink Hill Road. The applicant's primary desire to de-annex is due to their wanting to build a detached accessory structure on the property, a barn, I believe. And when they inquired at the county about building an accessory structure on their property, the main residence that's in Jackson County, were provided the development regulations for such a detached structure. In particular, a setback to the property line to the south, or the city limits, which I believe was 50 feet, which would have made developing that accessory structure almost impossible, given their property and location as to where they wanted it, and proximity to their existing house. And so to bring both properties under one jurisdictional control and to be able to build this accessory structure, they have proposed to de-annex the property from the city limits. Section 100.065 of the Blue Springs Municipal Code provides the process and regulations for detachment of territory from the city, including the submittal requirements and processes, including tonight's public hearing. The staff review of the proposed application. Staff finds that the proposed de-annexation does not have any negative impacts with regards to the comprehensive plan. The subject property is rural in location along the outer edge of the city limits and does not front any public streets or right-of-way. It is, as I mentioned, in unincorporated Jackson County and owned by the same property owner and does not contain any buildings or other structures. The location along the outer edge of the city, if it were to be approved for de-annexing, would just change the outer boundary city limits. This is not a case where a de-annexation of property is within the middle of the city, and then thereby de-annexing it would create an enclave or a gap of city-controlled property in the city. And so based upon those reasons, staff feels that the de-annexation is an appropriate request, and therefore staff does recommend approval of the de-annexation request. The Planning Commission shall consider the detachment or de-annexation request at a regular meeting and in light of the comprehensive plan and general needs of the city. And then after the Planning Commission public hearing, there would be a City Council public hearing that is currently scheduled for the next City Council meeting a week from tonight. I do have a map here. If I can zoom in, I apologize for the scale of this. The subject property is located up in this area here, south of this blue line. The colored lines over here to the west and here to the south indicate the extent of city services in the area. The city does not have any capital improvement plans to extend water or sanitary sewer to the subject property, and the city does not have any current development proposals in process or any that we are aware of that would be required as part of their development to install water or sewer service that would then be able to connect to this property. So because of all these reasons, that is why staff is recommending approval.
Okay. Are there any questions by the commissioners? No, thank you very much. All right, this time, would the applicant like to come forward? You'll need to be sworn in, sir. Right over there. No, you can stay right there.
Okay.
And just raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this case to be the truth, so help you God? So help me God. What's your name and address? Oh, my name is William Dunning, 1750 East Pink Hill Road, Green Valley, Missouri is the mailing address. Okay, like Mike was stated, we started out just trying to build a structure on our land. And so we went to the county to get a permit to build a structure. And we was informed we needed a 50 feet setback from the line, from the two, and we said, well, we own both pieces of land. Why do we need 50 feet? But they said we needed 50 feet. So then they mentioned something about getting de-annexed. And so then we went to the city and talked to Mike and the people down there, and they led us on this path to apply for de-annexation. By what the city attorney said, it seems kind of strange that we got annexed in 73, 74, I think what you said. And the statute with 5 years was in 13. So we're talking 30 years, maybe after the 5 year had expired. Of course, that was before we owned it. And I don't even, about the time it was built, I think, somewhere around that time. So our whole intent on this is just to be able to get a building built there.
Okay. Are there any questions for the applicant?
Yes.
Commissioner Billups, I think you were first.
Go ahead.
Okay, Commissioner
I
Fairbanks?
was wondering how long you've owned the property?
4 years, about 4 years.
Okay, and at that point in time, is that when you bought the 1 acre that you're wanting to de-annex?
When we bought it, we didn't even know that there was 2 parcels. And we didn't even know it until we got additional tax bill on the property, a different one. See, we got one for the unincorporated, then we got one from the city of Blue Springs. We didn't know anything about 2 of them until we got the tax bill, and then we went to the realtor and said, what's going on?
Oh,
And then they kind of explained to us what was the situation at that time.
So your title insurance policy didn't spell that out?
No, at least not that I could understand it, at least.
I know you were both looking at each other.
That's all-
Okay.
That's all right. That pretty much. I think that answers my question. Are the 2 lots Are they two separate lots, or is it one?
It's just one lot.
parcel?
When I mow the yard, I just mow all.
Well, no, I understand that, but is it titled as two separate lots, or is it titled as one lot?
It'll be titled in both their names, but two different
No, no, no.
parcels.
Two different parcels.
Two different parcels.
Parcels.
Two parcels,
It
so,
is 2 tax parcels.
but with it being, with the line going across the middle of it like that, it could not be one parcel, is that correct?
They could title it into one, but it was not done that way.
It
Okay.
would still be 2 tax parcels because of the.
No, I understand,
jurisdictions.
yeah, I understand the tax part of it. I'm just, but if it was all in the county, then they could just,
They could have it put all in one title.
it could all be one lot.
They would have to go to the title, they'd have to have it retitled.
I talked to county about that, and they said they couldn't hardly do anything until it all became unincorporated.
Right.
And that would be county. Then if it became all city, then that would be, I guess, up to you guys to
Yeah,
determine that.
we'd go through that process to put it all into one lot.
Right.
If you wanted it done that
And
way.
I imagine that's probably what we'll have to do before we get the building permit.
It would have to go into just the county then.
But it'd be a county parcel, and we wouldn't have anything to do with it.
Correct.
Yeah. I was just curious as whether it was titled as one lot or two lots.
Not if they're getting two tax, there's two parcels, two tax IDs.
Well, that would have been on your deed of trust or your.
Well, they should
Your
have got two
purchase
title
agreement, then you were
policies.
buying two
Yeah.
parcels, I would have
It
thought.
would have been, should have been two
You
parcels.
were buying 2 parcels.
Well, we don't want to get into the,
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it
neither
could have been there,
here
and
nor
I
there.
don't- I don't
We
understood
can't
it.
control what it was, we just know what we need to do tonight.
I'm just-
Right.
Are there any other questions of
Is
the
it
applicant?
possible that you could put it in the southeast corner and comply with the county?
Southeast corner,
Huh?
well, that would be,
That's
that's
shorter.
right where he's got the cursors at now.
Yeah.
That's a long way from our driveway, from where we would be able to access it. And that's a very wooded area, so, I mean, there'd be a lot of trees I'd have to get removed to be able to build it there. I don't know if that map shows you, but we got several trees in the south quadrant in there. I mean, the ideal place for us would be where we can have access through our driveway to it pretty reasonable, short period of time.
Well, the topography might not work for the, is that correct?
Right. I mean, that lot is fairly level, and there's a septic system over to that side of the house, too. It's east of the house.
That
You
definitely.
kind of can see the house there.
Okay.
There's the house there where he's,
That clear spot.
You, ma'am, you'd have to come forward and be sworn in. if
you gotta be
you wanna
sworn
speak.
in. here.
Would you like to come forward?
She's my wife.
I know, but she'd still, if you want to speak, you can come forward and get sworn in.
You sound swear the testimony about the case, if you're something.
I do. Linda Dunning.
Okay, if you'll step forward and give your name and address like he
Name and
did.
address.
Linda Dunning, 1750s Pink Hill. That clear spot to the east part there, that's where our septic system is.
Okay.
And then we have trees all down here, and we have like a, what are they? Cedar pines, like 4 rows that take up quite a bit of space. So where there's the clear space, that's where our septic tank is.
So I think what you're saying is that the reason you need the extra parcel is so the setback will meet the guidelines. It's not
Exactly.
that you really are going to use it, it's you need the depth.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact,
That's it.
we still may be building our building within the unincorporated now, but we couldn't do that and have that 50-foot setback.
Correct, I understand.
We want to use it to put in our mowers, and we got a truck that sits out in the driveway. We want to use it for vehicles, and then we want to use the garage that we already have for like a woodworking shop, things we could do there.
Okay. Any other questions, commissioners?
Madam Chair.
Commissioner Casey?
Just curious, would annexation of the northern parcel also be an option, or would there be something keeping them from doing that?
Well, then, once again, you'd have to provide services And that would, I would assume, be fairly costly and not right away. Your problem, I don't know how long it would take you to dig the trench and lay the pipe, but it would take a while, I would assume.
We asked if we could put the building in your area there, the
Blue Springs area.
Blue Springs area, but we were told we can't put it in that area because there's no utilities and there's no home
And we'd have to have access to
and
a
no
road.
access. So we told we couldn't put it on that piece of property. That would have been okay.
So you're here.
Yeah, we're here. We're hoping for the best, too.
Okay. Any other questions for the applicant? I gather not, so thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this project? This proposal? Anyone speak in opposition? I'll bring it back here. Is there any other questions or discussion among the commissioners on record? I would like to just say that it's been 40 years or so that we've not been able to supply them with utilities that, according to the statute, that we were supposed to. So keep that in mind. It says proposed for after annexation. So that's all I have on record. So at this point, I will close the public hearing, and it will be a roll call vote.
Madam Chair,
Yes? Oh, I mean a motion.
could I make a motion,
I'm just on the
please?
roll. I missed 1 week and I get all messed up. Okay. Commissioner Billups, please, thank you for helping me.
I would move that we recommend approval of the de-annexation DEAX 04186359.
Okay, and do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Haney has a second. Now we will have a roll call vote. Thank you very much.
Planning Commissioner Casey,
Aye.
Commissioner Graham,
Aye.
Commissioner Fairbanks,
Aye.
Commissioner Peel,
Aye.
Commissioner Sanderson,
Aye.
Commissioner Billups,
Aye.
Commissioner Haney,
Aye.
Chairman Banks.
Aye. Okay, that motion for de-annexation has been approved on 1750 East Pink Hill Road. It will be heard by the City Council on May the 21st, and they meet at 6 o'clock at night, okay?
Yes.
All right, it's been approved.
Thank you. Are we excused?
Yes, you are. Thank you.
Unless you just want to stay and watch us. You're welcome to do that.
You're welcome to stay.
Is there a show?
No,
Refreshments?
we've already provided that. Okay, now we'll go to number 3, the Master Alternative Sign Plan. Mr. Wright?
Yep, thank you, Chairman Banks and
Yeah.
Commissioners. Before you this evening is a request for a master alternative sign plan for Sports and Luxury Auto, which is located at 1928 Northwest Woods Chapel Road. This subject property is zone LI, light industrial, and received conditional use permit approval in February 2017 to allow outdoor sales and services, equipment, and vehicle repair limited. The applicant is requesting the master alternative sign plan to remove the existing pole sign that is on the property and replace it with a new pole sign further northwest of the current sign. So the current sign is located here in the far southeast corner of the site. The pole existing pole sign exceeds the maximum 35-foot height, and it also does not meet the setbacks. The entire, all portions of the sign must be on the property, and you can see there's a small corner of the sign that currently overhangs into the I-70 right-of-way. The new proposed sign location is right up here, approximately 30 feet. The base of, or the pole is located 30 feet from the I-70 right-of-way. So once you have the pole sign itself with the sign structure, the nearest point of the sign will be approximately 20 feet from the I-70 right-of-way. Pole signs may be permitted on properties adjacent to I-70 through the master alternative sign plan process. Again, the proposed sign is 35 feet in height, which is the maximum height allowed for a pole sign. Southernmost edge of the sign, as I mentioned, will be approximately 20 feet from the I-70 right-of-way. So all conditions related to pole signs in the I-70 corridor have been met with the proposal. Here's a proposed rendering of the sign. This is just the layout of it, showing us an 8-foot tall sign. At least the sign area is 8 feet tall, 20 foot wide. And then here's a better rendering. This is a rendering that's on the existing sign, but again, this sign pole will be shifted further to the north. But this just gives you an idea of generally what the logo will look like and the approximate size of the sign. The sign is proposed to be internally illuminated with LEDs. In addition to the pole sign, there will also be a wall sign on the front of the building facing northwest Woods Chapel Road. And that sign again will have just their basic logo on there. And the total proposed signage for the site is 192 square feet. They'll have 160 square feet on the pole sign and then 32 square feet for the 4x8 sign that will be on their Woods Chapel frontage. The 192 square feet for the sign area for the site is well within the maximum permitted sign area of 714 square feet. They have 714 square feet allowed on this property, given the frontages on both I-70 and Woods Chapel Road, where they're allowed a maximum of 2 square feet of sign area per linear frontage. So they have quite a bit of frontage on this site, so that's why the 714 square feet is rather high. Staff does recommend approval of the master alternative sign plan with the one condition in the staff report, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Are there any questions from Mr. Wright? Thank you very much. Would the applicant like to come forward and make a presentation?
Take your hat off.
Yeah, my name is Ellis Gordon. I'm the owner of Sports and Luxury. I have a partner named Jason Serafini. He's not here tonight. He's a doctor here in Blue Springs. I don't have much of a presentation better than he described, but the concept was to stay within your specifications. At first, I wanted to keep that sign, but I guess I made all kinds of mistakes of timing, etc. So we thought that was the best placed for us and hopefully for you guys. Our goal now is to finish up the, which is planning with the landscaping and removing lots of, there's pipes and ugliness. We're trying to clean it up, including we're going to hope to present a facade for the building to make it more attractive and make the whole corner more attractive.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the applicant? Kevin Ott. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very much. Okay, I would entertain, is there any other comments? Then I would entertain a motion for the master alternative sign plan for Sports and Luxury Auto.
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Billups.
I would move for approval of the alternative sign plan ASP 03186308 with the staff condition.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Commissioner Graham? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign.
Nay.
Commissioner Peel? Okay. Motion carried. That was the motion for master alternative sign plan. That motion did carry. All right, let's go on to item number 4, the election of officers. Oh my. Okay. We'll need nominations for Planning Commission Chairman.
I'd like to nominate Lynn Banks.
Do I hear any other nominations? Oh, great.
Well, you've only done it for 1 year.
I know.
Everyone gets to do it for 2. So.
Oh, I see. Well, hearing none, I guess.
I'll second.
Oh, second. Okay, I'm not done this part of it. See, this is new to me. A punishment. All right. We've heard a first and a second nomination and a second for Lynn Banks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I guess I have to accept. Okay, thank you. All right, Planning Commission Vice Chair. Do I hear any nominations for Vice Chair?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Peel?
I nominate Ken Billis for vice chair.
Okay.
I will second that.
All right, we've got a first and a second. Do I hear any other nominations? Hearing none. All those in favor of Ken Billups as Vice Chair?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Board of Adjustment Liaison. We have right now currently Ginger's, she's not here, by the way.
That's
So-
a reason to renominate her to stay on there.
If you're absent, you get picked. So, do I hear any nominations for Board of Adjustment Liaison?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Peel?
I nominate Ginger Duhan as the Board of Adjustment Liaison.
All right. Do I hear any other nominations? Do I hear a second to Ginger's nomination?
I'll second it.
Commissioner Fairbanks. All those in favor of Ginger Duhan as Board of Adjustment Liaison? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Anyone opposed? We'll let her know. Okay, we have a Board of Adjustment Alternate Liaison. Travis Graham is currently serving. Do I hear a nomination for Board of Adjustment Alternate Liaison?
I think Travis should continue. I would move for that.
Okay.
That is fine.
Do I have a second?
Mr.
Okay.
Peel.
Commissioner Peel. All right. Any other nominations? Hearing none. All those in favor of Travis Graham continuing on the Board of Adjustment as our alternative?
Aye.
All right. Anyone opposed? Congratulations, Travis. All right. We have the Development Advisory Commission rep and chairman. Currently, Mitchell Peel.
I'd like to nominate Mitchell Peel.
All right. Do I hear a second?
Second?
Commissioner Graham? All right. Are there any other nominations? Commissioner Peel? All those in favor for him to be continue as our advisory commission rep? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Congratulations to you as well. All right. Now, the Downtown Review representative and Downtown Review Board Rep 2 and Downtown Alternative has been appointed by the mayor. All right, so it's been appointed, Representative 1 is Ken Billups Jr., Representative 2 is Joe Haney, alternate is Jackie Fairbanks. Now, they will be confirmed at the City Council on May the 21st. Okay, so do we need to make a motion on that? No. We don't need to make a motion because that's appointment by the mayor. They've changed things a little bit. All right, so we'll go right on and so that you have those on record. And I'll go through these again right after we get done. Historic Preservation Commission Representative Ken Billups. I think he's shown interest again. Is there any other nominations? All right, can I nominate Ken Billups for Historic Preservation? Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor of Ken for Historic Preservation, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone? Yes? Yes, we did. Anyone opposed? Way to go, Ken. Step up. Solid Waste Management Commission Liaison. So,
I nominate Byron Cradoff.
okay, Byron. Oh, he's not here, so we, okay.
I'll second that.
We have a second. Is there anyone else who would like to be nominated? Hearing none. All those in favor of Byron being the Solid Waste Management Commissioner?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None. Congratulations, Byron. You can see this on TV.
Just a minute, I have a question to ask.
Okay?
We have a couple of new people on the planning commission, and I think they should have an opportunity to offer their services for one of these extra commissions.
Well, we already have had a motion. We've already had a vote. Now we've got one more position.
One more position, so would either one of them be willing to step forward to the technical review committee?
Sure. I would certainly be willing to give one up after I've now
Yeah.
acquired two more.
Yes.
And I will
would
also
be-
say, this is not a onerous position because they haven't met in the entire time I've been on the commission, so.
Oh, that's a tough job.
have. Sounds great.
Yes.
Yeah, so one of you,
I'd be
Or
happy.
any of
I'd
you?
be happy to. Yes.
all right?
So nominated.
Second.
Oh, Ken, are you making the nomination, Ken, for
Yeah,
him?
Yes.
And I'll
Commissioner
second.
Sanderson, we had a second by Commissioner Grant. Okay, all those in favor of Commissioner Sanderson for Technical Review Committee representative?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Congratulations.
Now, they have a meeting tomorrow night, don't they?
Right after this, I think.
Okay, let's go over the who's who now, if you want to write it down. Planning Commission Chair will be Lynn Banks, Vice Chair will be Ken Billups. Board of Adjustment Liaison will be Ginger Duhan. Liaison alternate will be Travis. Development Advisory Commission Rep and Chair will be Mitchell Peel. Downtown Review 1 and will be Ken Billups. Of course, those are going to be voted on by the city, but Downtown Review Board alternate 2 will be Joe Haney, that we know of, and alternate will be Jackie Fairbanks. Historic Preservation, Ken Billups. Solid Waste Management, Byron Cradoff, and Technical Review will be Chad Sanderson. So that is your officers for the next year. So any other, we'll go to finally, other business. Our next meeting is Tuesday, May the 29th. And you have other business?
Yeah, currently
I'm
we do
done yet.
not have any applications for the
Pardon me?
29th. We do not have any applications for the 29th.
Okay.
And so,
Oh,
When is the cutoff? Should
It's
we
already
cancel that?
it's already cut off.
yeah.
So,
May I move to cancel that meeting?
I'll second
I'll
that.
second that.
well, all those in favor, I didn't even have a chance to know about it until tonight. So,
Aye.
anyone opposed to canceling Tuesday, May the 29th Planning Commission meeting? Hearing none, the motion carried. Okay, thank you very much.
Enjoy Memorial Day.
Yeah, so, and is there any other business? Keena, do you have anything about downtown or anything?
Madam Chair,
Commissioner Peel?
Corks and Canvas is coming up in June, but nothing coming up right away.
Okay. Mr. Peel?
I would like to give kind of a summary on what happened at the annual conference for APA.
Okay.
And hopefully I won't bore you with too many details. The opening keynote address was by Derek Kaonga from Uganda. He actually had a visionary idea of collecting all the soaps from all the hotels and motels that he could, and then recycling that soap and sending it over to Uganda and some of the other African nations for reuse there. And it was a very interesting keynote address. Like I said, it was very visionary because he asked when he was here in the United States, what happens to the soap that you don't use each day? Because what he would do is he would steal it, is what he called it. He would steal the soap, and because he noticed he'd use it, but there'd be a fresh bar the next day. And so they had a facial bar and a body bar, which he didn't quite understand why there would be two. So he would steal these bars each day.
He thought he was stealing.
He thought he was stealing. So he went to the counter and they talked to the manager and said, I'm sorry, I have to apologize because I've been stealing these soaps. And the manager kind of was taken aback. Because I guess he had said, what happens to all of these soaps? And they say, well, we throw them away. So that's what started.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's what started his entrepreneurial spirit of collecting all this stuff for reuse.
So everything in a hotel room they throw away if nobody uses it? They never.
If it's been
If
opened.
it's been,
Oh, yeah, that I know that, but I mean, if it's not, they don't.
if it's been
I
open.
was gonna say, my parents owned a hotel, and they never threw it all away.
Yeah,
Except the ones that were open.
true. But at the end of that, his presentation, he actually taught us a African song. So we had 5,700 people that attended this conference. Can you imagine that we're standing there singing this song?
You gonna sing it for us?
No. And he taught us a little dance. So
You gonna dance? Come on, we gotta have the dance.
But anyway, so that was the keynote presentation. Some of the sessions were wrangling the complex zoning ordinance, which The city of Albuquerque, New Mexico has 60 zoning, and Columbia, Maryland, and Aurora, Colorado. There was a session on solar, and I know you probably are aware of these huge fields of solar, and rooftop solar as well.
Right.
But one of the biggest issues, I guess, that comes with solar is glare. And you have to be very careful in the surrounding area that you're not, somebody looks out their window and they've got like 150 mirrors pointed at their windows. So that was a very interesting session. The one of most interest was the toilets in the public realm. The capital costs, the design, the underlying infrastructure, and things like that. I don't know whether anybody has really heard about the toilets that are self-cleaning. And I can't remember where the other one was. I think it was in London. But they actually, after somebody uses it, or they go through so many uses, it actually rotates and closes off, and it kind of steam cleans itself, and then they open it back up again. So this is a great idea.
I want one of those.
Absolutely. There was also disaster resilience housing, and also where the funding comes from, like FEMA, and actually CDBG funds that can be attached for disaster recovery and things like that. So that was really interesting. There was a lot of sessions. I attended at least 5 to 6 sessions every day, and there was 4 days worth of sessions. So we would usually finish around 5:30 at night. One of the offshoots of that, there was a USS, not a destroyer, but a carrier that was docked right beside the conference center, and they opened it up for public view so you could actually take a tour of it. Very impressive. I didn't realize the suckers were so huge. Oh my gosh. But anyway, I will have a report ready for you guys so you can all look at it. The sessions were very good, the conference was good, and obviously the keynotes were very good. But I recommend any of the conferences that people can go to.
Thank you very much for going and taking such good detail with everything.
Oh, absolutely.
We appreciate it.
There'll be more detail in the report itself.
You're our eyes and ears. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there any action plans?
Okay. Is there any other? Yes, Commissioner Casey?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to let everybody know that Green Blue Springs is going to be hosting a community cleanup day this Saturday, May 19th, 8:30 a.m. We're going to meet at the Blue Springs Dog Park and then kind of disperse out to some different areas. And then in addition to that, we're also looking for local businesses in the area that would like to be featured for either doing some kind of green initiative, cleaning up around your property, or doing some kind of beautification just to kind of celebrate keeping our community clean and beautiful. So
are they going to clean up the dog park too?
That's not the plan currently.
Oh, okay.
We're probably gonna do Lake Remembrance a little bit if it's got some litter, but
Okay.
we'll disperse out when we get there. That's just where we're meeting.
Oh, okay.
And if any businesses are interested in reaching out and getting featured on our Facebook page, it's going to be email us at greenbluesprings@gmail.com.
Thank you very much. It's a great thing. All right. Any other business? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Commissioner Peel and Commissioner Fairbanks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Meeting's been adjourned. Thank you. Have a good night.